So this tutorial is on how to add a manager to a user within BORIS. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find the user, and then when we have found the correct user, we have to add a manager to their job assignment. So you need to log into BORIS using your admin account. This feature or this option is not available to an everyday user of BORIS. It is limited to only admin staff. So once you are logged in with the admin account, on the left-hand side of the screen here in administration, you need to click on Site Administration, and then Users, and then Browse List of Users. So basically, this page is going to bring us to all users within BORIS. So it's all staff, all learning pools, people who have access, all accounts that are not staff but need accounts, for example, maybe students or non-Beaumont staff that work on the site in Beaumont. So it's a little more than what we actually have in Beaumont, and it includes everyone. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to use a test account that I set up. So we're going to look for a user called Nick Test, who doesn't actually exist as a real person. That's just to make sure we're not breaching any GDPR information. So in the username, we would search for the person's username, or the 01 is their staff number. So for example, if I type in Nick Test, and then if I want to check is the person in an audience, the reason using an audience as a way to search for somebody means that if you have two people called Nick Test, and when you click search, you'll get two returns. Whereas if I know Nick Test works in CD Surgical and the other Nick Test doesn't, then it'll only return the one I'm looking for. So for example, in audiences, I'm now going to go CD Surgical and click Save. And again, this is based similar to the document that supports this video. And then user status, I'm going to leave as active. Suspended means all users who are not in active duty, so maternity leave, sick leave, secondment, any type of long-term leave. The default, though, as I said, is active, so just ignore as such. And then if I go search, I will return one user. So you can see Nick Test up here, and CD Surgical here has returned Nick Test Gmail is the user's email, and the person works in CD Surgical. Now, the person doesn't really exist, and I've only added them to the CD Surgical audience, but they're not actually in CD Surgical, and they don't really exist. So now that we've found the person that we want to assign a manager to, we click on the user's full name, so on here. So we click on the actual name of the person, and what we're brought to is the user details page. So it's the profile of the user. Now what we need to do is we need to go to job assignments. So if we click on job assignment, now it doesn't matter what it says there. It may say job assignment, unnamed job assignment. It can say anything. It brings you to the job assignments of this user. So we see users here. Nick Test is the user, so that would be the name of the real person, and then it'll say job assignment there, unnamed, because this person isn't real and isn't part of our HR process. You can ignore all the other pieces of this page for this purpose, and all we need to do is look at the manager section. So the manager is the person who will see information about this person when they are assigned as a manager. The browse option searches all staff, or shows all staff. Because there's more than 1,000 items, it doesn't just list every person that's in the system, so we have to search. So for example, now I'm going to pick myself, and I'm going to search Nicholas Codd. And then we see we have here. So I have another test account, but this is the real account. So I'm going to click on that. That's my real username, and my real name and my real email within BORIS. And now, once that is assigned, you have to click Update Job Assignment. Update Job Assignment is clicked, and now we are done. Now, the only way to check would be to go back into the assignment and see is the name there. As you can see, it is now there. Or it will be to check the user in the user's profile. So if I go back to users and I scroll down, and now if I scroll across, you see now the manager is there.